Are all cell phones off, including mine?
Not yet.
Just take a moment to turn our phones off. Ray, that means you too.
I did that first thing as soon as I walked in here. All the bells and whistles. All of them.
Okay, if we could stand for a moment of silence and then for the pledge of allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I know.
We got a bunch of front seats open. Thank you all for coming on this rainy morning. So our first order of business is the approval of the minutes of the Board of Directors workshop meeting of 2/5/19. Do I have any corrections or omissions? If there being none, we can approve the minutes as written. Our correspondence this morning is Linda, Ladies of Brookridge dinner.
Correspondence. I don't have a mic.
Oh, sorry.
We're sharing this one. Budget cuts.
Okay. Correspondence dated February 28th, 2019. Brookridge Community Property Owners Board of Directors. Subject, sponsorship of spaghetti dinner and public attendees. President Metcalf. The Central High School Junior ROTC has performed for Brookridge for the past 3 years at the Memorial Day program and for the past 2 years at the Veterans Day program. They did these programs for nothing and expected nothing in return. They are having a fundraiser to fund their national competition in Alabama and California. These competitions help them in their future after high school. The ladies of Brookridge are asking for permission to sponsor this dinner and invite the public to attend. These cadets were our servers at the recent fashion show for nothing and did a wonderful job. Booster parents and cadets would do all the cooking, serving, and cleaning. Patrona Turman has the food safety certificate and will be in the kitchen the entire time. They would like to have the dinner Sunday, April the 28th. They would be using the kitchen and entire hall from 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. with the seating at 3 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. Your approval for this event would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for your time and consideration. Respectfully, Patrona Turman, President of Ladies of Brookridge. I make a motion to approve general public attendance to the Ladies of Brookridge dinner on Sunday, April 28th, 2019, from 3 to 6 p.m.
I'll second it.
Second by Ken. Discussion?
One thing. Yeah, I just want to take Patrona here.
Yeah.
Are they going to start cooking at 9 in the morning? Or what?
No, they'll have to be in to set up the hall. And there has been a little bit of a change. They're only going to do one seating, correct?
Yes, at 3 p.m. and directly following the dinner, the men's. Yes, there's going to be one seating at 3 p.m. and directly following the dinner, there's going to be a performance by both the men's and women's armed and unarmed exhibition teams. with the rifles and stuff like that. That's going to happen right here in the hall too, so it's actually a dinner and a show.
And they'll need to be in early that morning for setting the tables and that kind of thing.
Is that amenable to the other things that are going on Sunday morning?
Yes, ma'am.
No,
There's nothing
it's
else, there's nothing else in the hall at all that day.
Okay, so the Bible study groups and stuff
They're
are
in room.
in the rooms?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I just have one question, Patricia. Have they talked about the cost of it per person, you know, how much it is?
I know they're having a meeting Thursday night, $7 per person.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, thank you.
And I also have because I have a food service certificate too. I've told Paterno that I would volunteer to help in the kitchen too that day.
Okay. Thank you. Now, this is, this is a little unusual because normally we don't let outside groups come in to raise money. But these cadets have worked with Brookridge 3 years with the Memorial Day service and the last 2 years with the Veterans Day service. And they've given their time. They've gotten to know a lot of the veterans. They've been very helpful with the ladies' fashion show. They were here, some of their parents were here helping out, and they were a great resource for us. And we thought this would be nice to give back to them. It's kind of like adopting them. And for anybody to do there, it has to be sponsored by a club or by Brookridge. So this is one of those situations where I think it would be a really nice gesture for us. And they're going to do the drills, and they're really a good group, and they place very high in all of their competitions. Is that correct, Greg? Yes. All right. Okay. Do I have any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a unanimous vote. Thank you. Next, we have the manager's report. Right?
Good morning. Purchases for over $2,000 for February. We had the $12,038 Fields Equipment Utility Vehicle. That was delivered yesterday, as a matter of fact. Our insurance policies continue to come in. The $2,210 for the insurance crime policy. It's up $54 over last year. The equipment policy is $2,372, and that went up $315 as we've got newer equipment that costs more to insure. Our final payment, Wilson Tech Group, for $46.45 for the balance of our admin server, and that was a reserve purchase. With the Lacucci River Electric has provided an updated map of the ongoing work completed and uncompleted. It's currently in the conference room, and I don't have it online at Brookridge.com. I haven't found a place to put it yet. And I'm trying to upload it, and I'll include it in an email. But they're continuing to run lines. A couple of residents have voiced their displeasure with the boring machines in their driveway, but they assure all Brookridge residents that the property will be returned to its like, kind, and quality once they leave. The second phase of the admin office bathroom remodeling project has begun this morning. It's scheduled to be completed by March 25th. Meetings in the conference room will need to use caution coming and going for this construction going on. Public Works is removing the front side rock and ground cover and will transfer any plants that they can. The RV compound lights additional lights are being upgraded to LED along the back fence line, and those are being done with donated funds from the RV compound users. The audit for the 2018 finances is still in process, and we will have honorary wall appointments on Wednesday, March 13th, 2 p.m. in the South Hall. Our volunteer appreciation breakfast is Wednesday, March 27th, 9 a.m. in the South Hall. Again, the Withlacoochee updates. Also, our attorney, Steve Mezzer, will give the board certification class for new directors or any other residents that wish to attend on Wednesday, April 3rd, from 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. here in the South Hall. So we anticipate at least two new directors on next year's board, so they'll need to get certification or sign the certification, so this would accomplish that, and any others that wish to attend can. That's all I have for today.
The audit, do they think that we'll have that by our annual?
We've requested it by March 20th, but I don't know if they're that close yet.
Okay, thank you.
Ray, that certification's only good for 1 year though, right?
I believe 5 years.
Is it 5 years?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're not elected, if you're not in, if not a regular member?
If you attended and got a certification, that certification is for 5 years. So if directors have already had it, they can still get another one, and I believe there'll be, law updates, bring up to date. So if you took it 3 years ago, there'll been some changes to the laws in Florida. So you might want to just attend and get recertified.
Is that something that unit reps, if they might be interested in going forward? So unit reps, I would certainly extend that invitation to our unit reps also, because there's always good information for
True.
them.
What was the date and times again?
That's April 3rd from 10 a.m. to noon. May only take an hour and a half, but we booked the room for 2 hours.
And the volunteer breakfast is after I'm off the board, so I get to go. I don't have to serve, I get to be just a volunteer.
We'll see about that.
Who said no? I see you hiding. Okay. All righty then. Violation report. These are the monthly report for the violations. This month we had 97 violations that were opened. Most of them were closed because people came into compliance. They read their letter and they came in to talk to code enforcement, and they were able to close their those complaints. The ones that are fined did not do that, and they're still open. We have a couple of probation. And then the ones that are on notice, can you explain to us again what the ones that are on notice mean?
Those are the ones that have been issued a violation, but they're still within the 14-day fixed pay date.
Okay, so that could probably change next week. Okay, thank you. We have no unfinished business. And then the next order of business is the Derby and Dance General Public, and that would be Miss Linda Smith.
This is a board agenda topic. The topic is fundraiser. It's regarding the Derby and Dance event. The committee would like permission to allow outside persons to attend the March 16th Derby and Dance fundraiser.
Do I have a second? Second. Second by Ron. Any discussion? Part of this is because we have a lot of parents of the junior ROTC, and their families would like to attend also. So that is mostly what that's for, but everybody from the outside, so you can bring guests too. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a unanimous vote. Thank you. Next, we have the AVRC volunteer appointment. Ken Sajak.
Yes, we have a AVRC appointment per SOP 2.3, Appeals Violation Review Committee, herein after referred to as AVRC. The president or designee shall administer the oath of office to committee members. Members shall not be officers, directors, BCPO employees, or relative of an officer, director, or BCPO employee. I make a recommendation to approve new member Dennis Bedoin. I make a motion to appoint Dennis Bedoin to the AVRC committee.
Second by Rosemary. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a unanimous vote. Dennis, are you here? Where are you? Okay, come on, maybe up at the podium. Okay. Dennis, is it Bedoin? Okay. Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly promise and swear that you will administer the office to which you have been appointed to the best of your ability and judgment in conformity with the governing documents of Brookridge Community Property Owners, Inc.? That you, in all your acts, be governed by the principles of honesty, justice, and fair play, and in every manner possible endeavor to promote and safeguard the best interests of the citizens of Brookridge and the welfare of its membership. Do you so swear?
I do.
You may lower your hand. By the virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I do hereby proclaim you as a duly appointed Appeal Violation Review Committee and officially install you into the office. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis, for stepping up.
You know, pretty soon you have to come sit in the front, Dennis. Okay, next we have guardrails for Misty Street Pond. Mr. Sajak.
The topic here is safety guardrails for the drainage ponds. The drainage ponds along the roadways need to be protected when flooded. Guardrails and reflective markers will help vehicles from driving off into a pond. The Tampa contact referred me to Cheyenne for Hernando County installs. Approved guardrails around the drainage ponds. My recommendation is approved guardrails around the drainage ponds in Brookridge and provide additional funds to reserve item 3260-12, $30 per linear foot or $15,000 per year for a phased installation. 2019 available funds is $971,225. I make a motion to approve guardrails around Misty Street Pond for $12,500 from reserve site elements, draining, and catch basins.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Rosemary.
Clerk, just a correction, I just want to, provide additional funds, that'll be from the Finance Committee when they convene this year. So the Finance Committee will, if they so desire, increase funding for additional guardrails going forward. And this $30 per linear foot is a good price. I had another quote there, you can see it was $20,000, so
Yeah.
this company is very good. I also included the visual need in your agenda packet. When the roads up there flood, a vehicle actually drove off the road into the pond.
Yes.
And fortunately, there was no loss of life.
Okay. Thank you. Do I have any discussion? Okay. Okay. We'll start with Rosemary. Val. Yeah. You all went up together. So. I have two ladies, by the way.
Oh, where's the other lady?
That's all right, you can start. Okay, Val Stratton, Unit 3. I noticed that this says that the guardrails will be around the ponds in Brookridge. So that means more than just this one pond, even though this proposed motion was around the Misty Street Pond. So my first question is the motion to take $12,500 out of the existing reserve site elements and immediately put up a guardrail at this Misty Pond?
Yes.
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 Okay. Having watched the reserve film, it does say that reserve funds are set aside for the long-term repair, restoration, replacement of a major common area component. With that in mind, and being here, 45 some years, is the proper procedure to dig out the drainage hole so that it retains more water? And that's just an observation. My question is, rather than putting up guardrails all over, could we have the patrols in inclement weather, like we did for Tropical Storm Debbie, put up barriers when the road gets flooded? Because I'm not sure how often this happens, but it happens at places that I drive through, Country Club and Mariah, Modena and Hampton, and then further down Modena. So this isn't just Misty. My question is, could we look at what we're doing to maintain the DREs and, if need be, an engineer to dig them out? Would the board consider looking into that before spending $12,500 on something that might not really be in line with what the reserve funds were for? And didn't the railings up here at the clubhouse come from donated funds? Do we want to go into the donated fund actions? And that's all I have.
Thank you. Do you want to take all the questions? We'll take them separately.
I could, we've discussed this, this is an ongoing issue for the drainage ponds. The category of the reserve funding, 3260, has drainage catch basins. Storm drainage was a classification long before 2007. This is really the only pond that I have. There's a pond in the back on Scepter. I can only refer to it as across the street from Barry Hill's house. Going towards the end of Scepter, that whole section is flooded out during the summer deluge rains. Now, I'm not talking Debbie tropical storms, although this particular picture is from Debbie. We barricade the road down up there from preventing you traveling down that road. We barricade the boulevard. Everyone knows that the boulevard floods, and you have to circumvent the back roads to get there. This large pond that we're, again, trying to, the barricade on this particular pond would have sent them down Misty and delivered you to the other side of the pond where you can see another car traversing. It is a large pond and a deep pond. The Barry Hill pond in the back has guardrails on it protecting it from people driving into it. That's where the idea came from. Those are the other ponds. If there's any other ponds that may be considered for the future, I would again refer to the continued funding through your reserve fund, through the finance committee's recommendations during budgeting. I know this is a good price and I know we have the funds available. I am not in the intent of going around to every pond and putting it up, but I am encouraging the board and future boards to continue to look at the problem. Again, this is a problem I've been sitting on it since 2012, looking for an opportunity to get it rectified. And I finally found a vendor that referred me to a county vendor that does it versus going to the county itself, which would be a lot more than $30 a linear foot. Additional questions, as far as we do have a 5-year drainage maintenance plan where Billy and Public Works go into ponds, scrape out the ponds to continue to allow the grounds to percolate during storm drainage. We remove the dirt when applicable. We do it in-house and take it to locations and advertise it for residents that would like free soil. We provide it to them. If we can't get into it, the last time I requested a subcontractor was over off of behind Dinsmore somewhere on a pond, and the board never approved that repair. So I'm just trying to get items repaired on a case-by-case basis and provide some type of repairs where needed when they're cost effective.
So this example in the agenda was from Tropical Storm Debbie?
It was, correct.
Okay, so have we had any other situations since Tropical Storm Debbie?
Not on this pond, no, but we have had them on the boulevard and the other places that you mentioned. Country Club and Mariah Dinsmore. We're not considering it there, but that would not be a bad idea to consider it. Again, keeping people on the roadway where they look out in the dark or in the rain and see what they think is a road. We keep getting new residents. So we're gonna always have people that don't know the flood situations of Brookridge. So as we continue to try and make these things more evident to newcomers going forward, what better way than, we've tried plastic sticks with reflectors in the road, and as you can see along the boulevard, they're knocked down again, and Billy's putting them back up. A guardrail is designed to return the vehicle to the roadway, is the concept of a large guardrail of these caliber.
Okay, I'm just, for 12,500 in a street that I'm not sure if we did the pico count, got a lot of travel where maybe something a little bit more affordable, like you said, the reflecting lights, might help identify where the road is. And the use of barriers, I mean, if the last time it happened was Tropical Storm Debbie, maybe divert the funds, like you said, you have other places where it would be pertinent. So that was my concern.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
One more, Gary.
Ann Nutter, Zone 6. My question was pretty much answered already. I was wondering what you do to maintain these overflows, and do we ever dredge them, and the pipes that go into them, how are they maintained?
As you said, I have answered that question on our routine catch basin maintenance plan. I think we have like 21 drainage ponds around Brookridge that we rotate around and clean out when necessary. The pipes, again, are also an issue that we continue to maintain. The orange covers are just a catch basin lid, so the tractor can lift up that catch basin. It's very heavy, and clean out any debris that gets clogged into it. There's also a couple of catch basins that they just have percolation holes in the bottom. They don't lead anywhere. And any of these other areas just lead to continual ponds, Mission and another road back here. They just lead to that pond. They don't lead anywhere else that could drain out into a storm drainage other than the ponds that we do have.
Did that answer your question, Ann?
It did.
Okay, thank you. Gary?
Gary owns Unit 3. I lived in Houston for about 8 years. They have huge water problem whenever it rains, as you know from the last hurricane we had, which flooded the whole city. They have quite a few catch basins, 5, 6, 8, 10 times as big as Misty. A lady was going along, did the same thing that you see in the picture while I was there, got off the edge. What we do is we try to go around the water in the road, and we go off and think we can drive around it on the edge. She hit the grass is slick. Whoosh, she went down in. I didn't find her till the thing finally subsided. I think a car could disappear in Misty's. So my question was, is that the deepest one we have, or are there others that are deeper? And I understand your point. We need to take care of the worst ones first, money-wise. And also, another thing, people throw their clippings and their leaves in the street for the cars to crush up. Where's that going to go? When it rains, it's going to go into the drainage tube that doesn't go anywhere, and eventually it's just going to turn that into not a tube anymore. So that was just some points that, I mean, I understand the reason for putting this up on the Misty. I mean, that's a deep hole. I believe a small car could disappear in there, and we would just have a missing person for a couple weeks. Thank you.
Thank you. Ray?
Billy and the Public Works Department do a good job of cleaning up the debris. They obviously have to trench it and clean it out periodically to make sure all of them are not backfilling. As far as the deepest pond, I can't answer that, but this is an obvious concern because the traffic is up there. It's not as much as if that pond would have been on this side of Brookridge Central, but it is a pond that all of the Unit 6 and people coming and going. Again, it's just an issue that has been on my radar for a long time, and the opportunity came up that I thought it was necessary to bring it to the board for safety concerns. And again, as we go forward, we should also continue to look at improvements going forward.
Okay. Ron?
Ray, the picture that we're looking at, I'm going to presume that's looking across the Brookridge Boulevard side, correct? I think I can see Misty on the far side of it, and Misty is still above the water line. So the biggest problem we seem to have is filling that retention pond and coming over towards Brookridge Boulevard itself, which does get a whole lot of traffic coming through there. So it's a well-traveled road.
Yeah, I don't argue that. The vehicle on the far side, a white pickup truck, is actually on Brookridge Central Boulevard, exiting Brookson.
And I wanna thank Ray for looking at the safety of our community. One of the biggest issues that we have is to keep the safety. That is our job. That is one of our fiduciary duties, is the safety of our community. So, are you ready to vote?
There's another resident.
Oh, I'm sorry. Come on up.
Frank Matthews, Unit 6. Up north, I work for the telephone company, and we used to give towns old telephone poles. Old telephone poles, and they would cut them off in like 6, 8 foot lengths, and they would put them in the ground along places like that. And I think you might be able to get something like that even for free around here if you're willing to do the work that goes with it. Just a thought.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any more questions? One more? Come on up. Oh, Paul. 3 minutes, Paul.
Up on Scepter,
Paul Harris.
Paul Harrison, Unit 3. Up on Scepter, where the children have that gate that goes into, let them go into school, you got a small retention pond there, but across the street, you got these poles with reflector. I don't know if they're plastic, or probably they're metal poles with reflector on it. I would think this would be a more of an economical thing to try and install these poles instead of spending $12,500. That's my point, that's all. Didn't take 3 minutes, though.
No, it didn't. Thank you. He's probably not done. I know. Well, the thing is with those is that people hit them and they go down. That's how people hit the mailboxes. They're there and they still go down. This is something that is definitely a safety factor. If those were there, that car would have gone right through them. They would have just, they're not strong enough to stop a
Aren't they
vehicle.
metal poles though,
No.
on Scepter there? Those reflective poles? that are in
The PVC, I believe.
Yeah, they're plastic.
Those are PVC.
Yeah, those are PVC. Yes.
Those
Wait a minute, I have a gentleman that wants to, were you gonna respond, can you respond to that?
Yeah, the ones that, Paul, you're referring to, those are PVC, and those are designed to be knocked down if a car hits it. The purpose of a guardrail is to keep the vehicle from going through it, to keep the vehicle from going into that pond, which those plastic ones won't do.
Can't you install metal poles?
Sir?
Hi, my name is Charlie F. Tosmas, and I'm on Unit 6, and I live on Brookridge Boulevard. And I was here during Tropical Storm Debbie, and we were right across the street from the pond, and I couldn't believe what I saw. I saw this red car going down Brookridge Boulevard, take a right into the pond. 3/4 of it was submerged. Of course, I got all excited. I went to the phone, I called 911. I went over to see if there were any other bodies in there, if there was one person or many people in there. And finally, the fellow, was only one person in there. Finally, the person got out of there. I said, what was happening? He said, oh, I thought that was the exit. You know, and he didn't realize, he was new here, he was new, and he didn't realize that was not the way out of Brookridge Boulevard, or Brookridge. And I panicked because I've seen situations where there's been families in these cars, so who knows? And unfortunately, because it was such a terrible day, 911 didn't do anything, not that they didn't do anything, but they couldn't get in, the community, the fire trucks, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not here to advocate one way or the other, I'm just saying, you're bringing up a good point as far as safety is concerned. All it takes is one tragic situation. I know we haven't had, one in 7 years, but it's a very frightening thing when you see that happening right in front of your eyes, going down in there, and you're helpless to do anything. And as far as flooding Brookridge Boulevard, the other side of Brookridge Boulevard where I live was also flooded, and there were cars stuck there. So there's only one way to get out of Brookridge, basically, that side, that's to go down Misty. And you go down Misty, I don't know how much water was over there, but I'm sure that was heavily flooded. But as far as the cost, I'm not getting into that. That's not my bailiwick. But I just want to let you know from my own personal experience, something has to be done, to prevent a tragedy happening. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. And that is, people that don't see it, they don't realize how dangerous that is and how quickly it can come. Ann? You got to give your name again.
Hi, Ann Nutter, Unit 6. I was just wondering, before the board votes for all these changes and stuff, don't you think that we should maybe have a town hall where everybody can get involved in it? And maybe somebody in our community, and I'm not being disrespectful to you folks, but could have more input?
This is one of the duties of the Board of Directors is to, we have it in the reserves, and people, the reserves that we would be using are not the reserves that were put in 2 years ago with the $2. These are reserves that have been adding up for the last 30 years. There's a little bit going into each one. So we have the money in there, and the money is there for do what we feel is best for the community. This isn't a situation where we should have, it shouldn't be the vote of the community. We're voted in to use the discretion to use our funds correctly. Although town meetings are for other things that we want to bring up, where this is an ongoing maintenance issue, and this is not something that would be relevant to a town hall meeting. This is something that the Board of Directors has the duty. This is,
I'm a little skeptical of that word.
well, if it was something that would be $200,000 for one section, oh yeah, that's something that we would want to talk to. But this is a safety issue. It's been going for at least for the last 6 years, that came through. We are in a hurricane, alley, and we don't know how often these are going to come. But when we have people that don't realize that that's there, how many times do you see on TV that people have gone into those drainage ponds? Sometimes they get out and sometimes they don't. In this case here, Ray has been trying to get the best price that we can for this. He has finally found somebody who can give us a very good price that is going to be a major safety issue. So this is what we are responsible for. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else have one more?
I told you to sit up here.
I know. Yeah. Paul, you get 2 minutes left of your 3 minutes. When I'm sitting out there, they're gonna say the same thing to me.
Paul Harrison, Unit 3. Question.
Yes.
On Misty, when that flooding happened 7 years ago, and how deep did the water come back onto the road?
It's pretty deep. It's there. That's...
My other thought is, how high is this guardrail gonna be? In case you get flooding that high, will you still be able to see the guardrail if somebody did this? Is this Brookridge?
See how far that is?
Yeah.
That's
my only question. If you put the guardrail 2 feet off the ground, well, it's not that high, and you get a severe flood there, are you still gonna be able to see the road if you get a severe flood?
Yeah, I would say yes, because it doesn't do that big dip. It just dips down enough, and all of the water is coming and going into the pond. The reason why it's flooding the road is that there isn't enough room in the pond.
To catch all the water.
Yes, so that
accept all the water.
Exactly, and that would be high enough for the, and even if it wasn't, they're gonna hit that and they're not moving.
Of course, but
Yeah,
I'm
so
just saying.
they're not moving.
Yes.
And that is the safety issue. Like this gentleman said, he was right across the street from that, and he saw that, he witnessed that. Anybody who witnesses something like that has more in-depth,
The only
information.
person driving and hits that guardrail with that impact,
He's gonna
it's gonna
stop.
Oh, it's gonna stop them if they have
Right.
airbags explode and,
That's okay, but it's
Yeah.
gonna stop him and not get into that. If there was nobody there and Charlie hadn't seen him, that person could have drowned.
Okay. I still think we should look into steel poles there as an alternative,
Okay,
a cheaper alternative. Thank you.
thank you. We have another one? Oh, we'll go, okay, there you go. I think you have 2 minutes left too.
Frank Matthews, Unit 6. Has anybody thought of just putting a big sign that this area floods during storm, that you'll see driving by all the time, and then people will see it even before it floods and know that they gotta be careful when it's flooded when they get there?
Do you realize how many we have there? And we have had flooding. I'll tell you, on Country Club Boulevard, just before Mariah, when I come in, there is a sign there, flooding, and sometimes it gets about 1.5 foot, and people just go right through it. It's not, this one, this area here, as Charlie said, people don't even, we have a couple hundred people, new people in Brookridge every year. They thought it was the road. They thought it was the road.
Well, that's what I'm saying, if there was a sign there right at the pond, I mean, out at my sister's place in Arizona, they got signs along the road that this particular area floods in rainy season, and beware not to use that road.
Okay.
And I also agree that there might be a lot of ideas from a lot of other people that went to a town hall meeting.
Well, to give our general manager some credit, he has been dealing with this since since 2012. That was the worst. We have had many flooding days, and that's when the rain is really tough. And people that have, because we have how many roads do we have? Signs in here that says road is subject to flooding. People just go right through it. This is something that has been pondered for more than just now. There is $912,000 in the reserve. It is not the money we put in there 2 years ago. The money we put in there 2 years ago is going towards, reserves for the next 10 years. All of these reserves have been every year we put a little bit in. The drainage ponds and the safety of Brookridge, those metal bars do not work, and to have the flooding, that is not going to stop people from realizing that that's not a roadway. And that is what, this wasn't done just, hey, we got some money, let's just spend some money. This is something that Ray has been looking at. And our general manager does a very good job of keeping our finances as low as we can. And we have still been able to do most things. There were some things that have been put off because of budget restraints. This is not something that we feel should be put off any longer. So.
I got 1 more minute?
Yes, you have 1 more minute. Yeah, because you did 2 minutes up there, so you have 1 minute.
Val Stratton, Unit 3. Would the guardrail be on the Brookridge Boulevard side? Both sides? I want to say that after the discussion, I'm enlightened and I can see where it's needed for safety.
The agenda included an aerial map. It includes the layout for Misty Street guardrail side and Brookridge Boulevard side.
Right.
It's almost 400 feet in linear feet.
Okay. And do you have this? Okay, and there's a red line, and it shows that's where the guardrails would be. Thank you for that, Val. Okay, are we ready for a vote?
Two quick
Oh, wait a
things.
minute. Yep.
Two quick things. One, Frank, there is a sign right there, and in the picture, the sign that this road floods is about,
Yeah, it is.
would appear to be about 4 feet before the car went into the water. So they turned right by that sign and went in the water. So, and I understand that, but there are signs up there that say that. Paul, the guardrail, again, looking at this picture, the rear wheels of the vehicle is a small SUV. The rear tires, you can actually see pretty much the entire tire, so that it's not that deep right there. The front of the vehicle, however, is basically underwater, the front hood. So that guardrail, even at 2 foot high, for that wide, would be pretty visible, even with it flooded in there. So I want to point that out for you, that for it to be covered, Brookridge Boulevard itself would, and a lot of those homes would be pretty much flooded at that point for it to cover a 2 foot high guardrail.
I just want to elaborate a little bit. In the past, maybe 1.5 years, 2 years, you probably heard on the news somebody drowning in a car. This is what we want to prevent. So think of yourselves, when you see a television, a car go in there and a person's inside, and they're filming how this person's going to try to get out of a submerged car. It's not easy. In fact, it won't happen. So, and another thing too, as far as reserve funding, every reserve component in Brookridge has a line number. There's X amount of money that goes in that line number every year, whether it's pennies, dollars, or whatever. So that's, money was set aside for these catch basins and that's annually. So that's where the money's coming from, because it's already reserved for that. And that's all part of the study.
Thank you, Ken. I have one more, and then we will close it up.
Yeah.
3 minutes. No, wait, you did it.
Beverly Epstein, Unit 6. Not to prolong this discussion, but when it comes to safety, I think it's the board's responsibility to make these decisions and not 2,700 homeowners, which don't really have a way to investigate the proper way of doing it.
Thank you, Bev. And I have one more from Rosemary, then
Yeah,
we'll
this
close
is
it.
just an FYI. I was here during, some of you weren't here during Debbie. On the boulevard near Fitzpatrick, there is a sign that says road subject to flooding. We had individuals who said, oh, it's not bad. We had, 3, 4 vehicles that were submerged to their roofs in that area, so that's how deep the water got.
Okay. All right, I would like to vote on this. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a unanimous vote. And thank you, everyone, for your input, because it gives us a chance to give you more information. And once you see the pictures, I thought that you all had the pictures, but you kind of understand now. All right. Thank you very much. Next, we have pool repairs and tire replacement. Okay. The topic is the clubhouse swimming pool repairs, new tile and pool surface. The pool is in need of repairs and upgrades. Several violations from the county health department are pending by county for these repairs to avoid shutdown. And my recommendation is to complete the necessary repairs and replace the tile and pool surfaces as quoted. So I'll make a motion to approve Pool Pros of Pasco to complete the needed repairs and replace the tile and pool surfaces paid from reserves account 3220-12. Our balance in there is $78,947. Include option item raise the vacuum line for $1,750 for a total of $35,889. I have a second by Ron. Vince? Shut your phone.
All in favor?
We'll let you explain.
If you have the mic, just go down the line items of everything on the invoice. If they didn't get their pictures in the email that went out, they're online at brookridge.com of the tile schematic vendors.
As you know, the pool is in dire need of some major repairs. County health inspection came through with a lot of issues with tile, drainage, and also water, automatic filling of water to the pool. So with this here, we know that the pool nose is in dire need of repair. It's all cracked, it's falling apart, it's a lot of extra maintenance to really take care of the pool, the way it looks in today. Okay, so line items would be, would be 195 feet of raised beam modification. That's all, that whole pool nose will be tore up, okay, will be demoed. There'll be demoed the top stucco, 2 rows of tile, that means a tile that's on the face of it now that you see that where the water level is, and the tile below it, okay? All that's got to have to be replaced. option, what we're gonna go with the paver bricks, okay? As you see in the pictures, in there, you'll see a picture of what it's gonna actually look like, okay? Or kind of rendition. New depth tile markers on top. We're gonna go with an anti-skid pool step trim that's in front. As you go walk into the pool, you'll see that all that trim that's in front all has to be non-skid per county codes. Okay. New water line tile area. That's that's all waterproofing. Install 360 feet of tile upper and lower. That's all the way across, all the way around the sides. New belly band tile. That's the blue tile that's in the front. That's in the bottom of the pool. You see a dark blue line. All these tiles in the pool have to be different colors for contrast, so people can identify different areas of the pool as far as it has to stand out. Okay. You need a new commercial pool ladder installed. The safety rope that's in there now is not to code. The rope is to code, but the location of the rope is not to code per 2017. It has to be 2 feet forward of the belly band. Okay? The other 15,000 you see there, that's for the entire pool face all the way to the floor, all the way up. Okay, that's all finished. Okay, the finish that you see, that the non-skid finish that you see, all the nice baby blue in the pool, that's what that 15,000 is. That's all the finish, because that's all has to be demoed. Okay, and also we get new grates down the bottom, even though we replaced them a couple years ago. Those have to be changed because everything's being raised up. Okay. As you see in the pictures, in your pictures there, the one picture with the jacuzzi area and your sidewall, that's what it's, the bottom picture, that's what it's going to look like. Okay, you see a big bull nose all the way across. Okay, now it's all going to be flat. It's not going to be any higher. Okay, it's going to be the same height as what it is now. All that's going to be demoed because you have to maintain that 6 inches up in the pool area for the skimming. Okay, so all that's going to be dropped down, 2.5 inch thick brick, all the way, like you would with residential pools, but this is for commercial. Okay, and you'll have a face tile all the way across, all the way around the perimeter. So I mean, the next picture, you'll see our existing pool. Okay, and then the pool, what it's going to rendition is look like from a side view. Okay. And then you also, on the next picture there, you see a front view, as you're looking right at the pool, okay, you'll see the brick tile and then the paver brick on top of that. And that's all for, you can go through the county problems that we have, which was fun. But we solved most of them, but some of these things we can't solve until we get off the pool fixed. Any questions?
Is there a time limit we have to have these repairs done?
By our next inspection, which is in about, Ray, what, 2.5, 3 months? Probably some June, July? Yeah.
They put you in, tell them what's, the county put them in a satisfactory status pending approval of the items that were still under violation for. The violations still remain for non-skid pool step, trim ladder, stair main entry, waterproof water line tile areas, the belly band tile, the commercial pool ladder, and the safety rope mounts in county required locations. Not to mention, the next item on the agenda is the swimming permit for nighttime swimming. Also, if approved, we've got a schedule that would take, scheduling would be starting 6 to 7 weeks from the contracting date. So we would have to get into the queue, into the lineup with the contractor. So if you're approved today, we're going to be 8 weeks until we can get started. And then it would be 4 to 5 weeks to complete the work. So 4 to 5 weeks is going to be a full month of the pool being inoperative. If we get it going, we're going to either try and get it done So we're completed before July 4th, or we would start after July 4th and work through August, September, be back online. So we're going to try and work around the July 4th holiday as far as scheduling. Nothing's in stone until obviously they commit to it.
Okay. So the question was, what is the date? Do they give us a date, the county date, to come into compliance? Or are they accepting our?
No, this all has to be gone through, then we have to call them up for reinspection once it's completed.
Okay, but they don't have, like, in 2 months, they're gonna stop finding us or shut the pool down?
No,
Okay.
no.
So they're working with us?
They're working with us to make they grant us a satisfactory agreement, knowing that I showed them quotes from Pool Pros, that we are in the process of, way before they even wrote us up, I brought the quote, I said, Ray and I were thinking about doing this summer, this was on the agenda for our agenda for this summer, to get it done, because it's in dire need of repairs. We probably, what was it, our last inspection, they wrote us up for all the chipping of the paint on top, and then we repainted it, and it's still chipping, it's still cracking, I can't stop it.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything to, Rosemary?
I was out by the pool one day and Vince was on his hands and knees with a putty knife, a chisel, trying to get rid of the cracked stuff. And I noticed that there was like crumbling of the concrete, which is obviously getting into the pool and the pool filters. Is that correct? Was that happening too?
Yeah, it's happening more often now because it's starting to disintegrate. Yeah, chipping out tile is not fun.
And it was hot that day, if I remember.
Yes, yeah, it was.
Anybody else? Okay. Oh, you have to go up to the mic.
So this grace period, excuse me, that's just so we get started? I mean, we have the grace period to get started, then we have
Name and unit.
time to do, Gary owns Unit 3. We have time to get it done, right?
Well, we don't have like 5 years.
No, I know, but I mean, this year, we have to do it.
We have this summer.
Okay. I was just wondering about our margin.
No, it's gotta be done this year.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous vote. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Actually, we don't have no choice, but, so I'm glad that we were all in line.
Thank you very much.
Still got the podium, huh?
Yes.
Yes. The next item is the clubhouse swimming pool requires a new permit for nighttime swimming as per the county health department. The pool deck lighting is not up to county code for nighttime swimming. Florida Building Codes 454-1-4-2-1, lighting shall provide a minimum of 3-foot candles, that's 30 lux illumination, at the pool water surface and the pool wet deck surface, 4 feet of the pool perimeter. And we need to complete the necessary upgrade to the outside lighting to obtain a permit from Hernando County. My motion is to approve Shore Commercial to install 1 new pole with fixture and mounting height of 20 feet and 1 matching wall pack at 16 feet, for $4,300, includes permit.
I'll second it.
Second by Ken. Vince?
Allow me. It's
Ray?
okay. I'm looking for the approval on this. However, I am currently waiting to hear back from our contacts with the Lacucci River Electric about getting either the equipment or some of this done for free and just adding it to our monthly street light bill. I anticipate them in this week to do this analysis and provide me with the answer whether it'll be done for free. If not, and they can't do it because of the whatever classification, we'll go with the approval of this just to get the permit. Either way, somebody's got to do it. If with the Lakuchi can do it for no charge, we're going to go that way, and I'll report back next month.
Okay, so the reason for this motion is, in case they don't get that, we still need to have it done so we can get.
This was a violation from the health department, that they noticed that we have our hours till 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and it says in our permit that we had no night swim. So this is what, we've always had night swimming. Evidently, several years back, they just took it off because they don't have this form for our lighting check for the pool from a qualified source. That's why this prompted this issue.
Okay. Have any discussion? Yeah?
Val Stratton, Unit 3. On these expenditures that we've done, do we need 3 bids? What do our documents say the dollar limit is that we need 3 bids?
Right?
The guardrails, I've got 2 bids. Those are the only 2 suppliers for Hernando County. The pool, Mickelson Pool, no longer does the work. So we can continue to chase a 3rd one, per our documents, but we don't have a source to get the other one. And the lighting, pool electrical, hopefully the 1 bid won't even be used, and we'll get with the Lakuchi. But normally, yes, everything needs to get quoted out, bid out, but there are limitations to the suppliers here.
Should we be including that in our agenda item? Is that only 2 available? The board approves that we waive the 3 bid requirement.
Do we need that?
Don't think we need it, but we
No,
can add it.
we can add it. We don't need it because he's already checked. He's already reached out, and they're the only ones that bid. So we're going with the lowest bid.
Hey, Val, I've also, when we did this, I called Mickelson. He's no longer doing it. He's only doing basically crack repair for new installations, okay? I called High Point, okay? The 3 vendors that they have, only 1 is can work in the county. The other 2 are Mickelson was one of them, and there's another one that did concrete work. He can't do it anymore either. So they had 3 contractors that did their pool. I called them and said, only one of them, which is Pool Pros, can work in our county, plus is in Pasco, Hernando. They're pretty heavily in only commercial pools. Residential pool people, they won't tackle the commercial pools. Just too much liability and things of that nature.
And Val, this is a problem that we've come across. I know my 3 years on the board, working with Hernando County, a lot of contractors have a problem with them. So we have to be able to get people to come work in the county. So that's an issue, an ongoing issue. Okay. Do we have any more questions of Vince? Are we ready to vote? Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? It's a unanimous vote.
Thank you.
Well said. Thank you. Let's get that pool fixed before August, maybe July.
Hopefully, Mayor.
This year. Okay, we don't have any more new business, but that's on the agenda, but we have a situation where we need a special meeting. And this is, last month we had approved to have Little Smokies Barbecue come into our community on Friday evenings. We're still working out the contract with the attorney, and we cannot start without a contract. So I am requesting that we have a special board meeting at the administration conference office. It'll just be one item. It'll be this Little Smokies Barbecue contract, and it will be Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock. And, it's not a private meeting, it's a public meeting. So you can just come to the conference room if you're interested. And that's also on TV, so, and we'll have it posted.
No sandwiches served.
No sandwiches served. 2 o'clock.
We don't have a method to transmit. I could replay the video, but it won't be on TV.
Okay, we don't have it. This Thursday, yeah. March 7th at 2 o'clock. Okay. Thank you. Okay. And today we have no violations or appeals. You're not kidding. Okay, hoorah, as the Marines say. No, Air Force? Marines, Air Force, all of them, I don't know. Okay, Board of Directors, committee meetings and reports. Who would like to start? Anybody?
Okay.
Linda?
I will start. We're having our last fundraiser for the renovation of the front sign, the 16th of March. At the clubhouse here, we're going to have horse races, along with DJ, dancing. We'll have food available to purchase. It's going to be a fun day. We're going to have lots of games going on. Just a very pumped up day. I have tickets to sell. They're $10 per person. In advance, $15 at the door. We're going to be selling the tickets up here at the clubhouse Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to noon. So if anybody who's up at the clubhouse and wants to stop in and pick up their tickets, that's awesome. So far, I've got 25 of my 30 horses sold. With a possibility, I've got 4 yet that I'm still waiting to hear back from. I want to get that closed up today. They wanted us to have it all in by last Saturday, but they didn't call me and I didn't call them. So I'd like to be able to get hold of Sunny this afternoon and get our horses all finalized. So if anybody has any questions about it, please come and see me or give me a call. You can find my number in the News and Views under the Singles Mingle, Brookridge Singles Mingle. And just give me a call with any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Linda.
Yes, normally our VRC meeting is the day after the regular board meeting, but there's no regular board meeting this month. It'll be the annual meeting, but we still will have a VRC meeting at 8:30. That would be the 21st of March, 8:30 in the morning. And also, we only had 1 speeding violation in the month of February. Speeding has come down really a whole lot. I finally have an enjoyable ride for almost 3 miles from my doorstep to the gate without somebody running me over. So hats off to all you people who are abiding by the rules and keeping our community safe. I really appreciate it, and so does everybody else, and all the joggers, walkers, bicyclists, and everybody else out there walking along the road. I thank you.
Rosemary, do you have anything this week? No? Okay. Ron?
Yes, the Gulf Association meeting had a special meeting on February 27th here in the South Hall for the voting members, and presentation was made to the Gulf Association on the necessary need for replacement of all of the greens and the putting greens on the golf course. The association voted to allow the board for the BCCGA to obtain the rest of the bids in, somewhere around about $325,000, $350,000 is what it's going to cost to replace those, to beautify the golf course and get rid of some grass and some diseased grass that's grown in there that's becoming impossible to control. So they will meet again, I believe it's 2 weeks, to vote whether to accept the bids and whether to actually close the golf course for an entire summer to replace all the greens and putting greens at once, or to close it and do half of 1 year and half of next year. It's an item that will end up making the golf course better, keep it beautified, and move forward from there. So it's going to cost them a lot of money to do it, but they're looking forward to it. Not spending the money, just looking forward to getting the greens replaced.
Thank you. I have a couple of things. As many of you know, anybody who gets the emails from Brookridge, and if you don't, you really should put your email in it, Miss Vivian, so you get all the information. We met with Ken and myself and Ray, met with 2 representatives from Republic Services. We met on Wednesday, and when I had sent out the 2 emails, I got at least 90 responses, whether they didn't get their buckets or they didn't get their service. We gave them to all of them, gave all of them to them. We've asked them to go through each one, see what the pattern is, and that we do expect to have much better services. As you can expect, there was a lot of excuses. I have the feeling from talking with them that the county gives them information. This person does one thing, and this person does another. And I do not believe that there is communication between the 3 of them. I've asked them to have a formal report to us before March 20th so I can report at the annual meeting. They were supposed to give us information by this morning, and Ray has not given that information, so I will be calling them again because I still have plenty more people that are writing in and saying that they're not getting their buckets or the vehicles are going straight through. So it's a work in progress, people, and our patience is very rapidly running out. So we're not going to just let it sit there until I'm off the board. I will continue. Ken has been sitting in, so Ken is going to be able to take over for that. So I apologize for us not having an update yet. So that's one thing. I want to remind people that on March 13th, we are having our honorary wall recipients program that day, and we have 3 people that are being honored. Rosemary is one of them. Ellie Calasante is one, and Mr. Doug Beals is the 3rd. So we're going to be honoring them. I think it's at 2 o'clock here in the clubhouse. March 13th. Yep, at 2 o'clock. The other thing is, I want to remind everybody is that the annual membership meeting is March 20th at 7 o'clock. I believe we'll have donuts. I think we're going to have donuts, and we're going to have them, you know, as you come in, you can get your donuts so you don't have to wait till the end of the evening. And this is a meeting for all members to come and hear what has gone on the past year, to voice your opinion on major issues that are going on, to hear the outcome of the election, and then to see the new board elect their president, 2 vice presidents, secretary, and treasurer. So it's kind of a cool evening to be there. As you know, that this is my last official board meeting. So I thank you for all the support and all of the issues and concerns and nice and helpful things that you brought to me for the last 3 years. And I've enjoyed this time, but it's time for me to be retired for a year or 2. So I think that's all that I have. Now, do we have any other? Yeah, Rosemary?
Just 2 things, because I don't see Bill Hartman here. This Saturday, don't forget, there's the annual spring yard sale, and the proceeds benefit the CERTs, our community emergency response team, for what they need to keep our community safe. It's from 8 to 1 on Saturday, and it's open to the public, of course, and they have sold tables. I will have a table, so if you want to come by and see what I got there, fun stuff. But anyway, 8 to 1, Saturday. The other thing is, just to remind you, I'm patting myself on the back. Music Airs concert, March 23rd, 6 to 8 p.m., March 24th, 3 to 5 p.m. We're going to have a beautiful concert with a quartet of violin, cello, flute, and piano. I mean, it's actually going to be quite amazing. This is a free will donation event. You don't have to contribute if you don't want. Any donations we would appreciate, because that goes to pay for new music, which we're going to need for our Christmas concert, and to pay our accompanists. So please come. It's Saturday night and Sunday afternoon, and we're going to serve cookies after each performance.
And that's it. I just have one more. I don't see anybody from the beautification committee here. On March 10th, Jim? Jim, do you want me to announce the card game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, he's our consultant down there. On March 10th, the beautification committee is having a card game. It's $10 a person. And you come in and you have, the tables are set up with 4s and sometimes 8s. And you come in and you do your own cards. We have cards available, whether you're playing Pinochle or Bridge or Uno or Left, Right, Center. I don't even know what they have. There's so many. And it's $10 contribution. With that $10, you're going to get a sub, a 6-inch sub. We call them grinders up in New England, but people look at me funny when I say that. And there'll be a drink and potato chips and also homemade strawberry shortcake. So that's a huge thing. And all of the proceeds over that, which is probably about $4 a person, goes to the beautification committee. The beautification committee is there, and you will be seeing very quickly that we have ordered about 85 new plants for the boulevard with the money that we've had. It's going to be beautiful. Beautification committee is made up of just volunteers. So we want you to, realize that. So if you see any of us out on the boulevard, don't hit us, but just toot and say, "Good job, guys," because it is something that we provide so that we don't have to have an extra person on the Public Works Department. It's a savings to Brookridge, but it's a really nice thing for volunteers to do. So with that, I'm asking for member comments. This one. Usually the hands are up all over the place.
Hello, is it on?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, Anna Webster, Unit 3. I appreciate everything that was done here this morning. However, my concerns are the election. And I wanted to say that when all the ballots were sent out to the homes here, 4 resumes were put in that ballot. 5 names were on this little sheet. My resume was not in that ballot. The day those, and I have it all written, I'm a little nervous. The day those ballots were mailed and then the members received them, people came down to the office to wonder, where's Ann's resume? Nobody in the office knew anything about it. I contacted Gail at the time, and she went to Ray. Ray sent out an email with my resume. However, There are over 27 homes in this development and 900 emails in the office. What happened to the other 16 plus 100 people that did not get anything? I don't feel that this was a legal election. I was not represented in the balloting, except my quarter-inch name on a little piece of paper. At this point in time, it doesn't make any difference to me whether I'm elected or not. However, I think you're setting a precedent, and this could happen again, and nothing is being done, because when you ask anybody, I didn't do it, so it must have been a bunch of elves down in the office that did it. I think it was done inappropriately, it was done wrong, and it was a disservice to me. And I'm sorry, that's all I have to say.
Anna, it was a disservice to you. And from what I understand, it was given to the printer. And the printer does all of its, I believe they send it out also. Is that correct, Ray?
They send it to a mail house. The printer forwards it to a mail house for processing and mailing.
So we never got them back. We found out, each of us found out when we opened our ballots and saw it. And I believe that they've given us a credit for that mistake. It doesn't help the situation, and I know that. And I have people come up to me and I say, and I'm quite honest, I think Ann would be a wonderful asset. And I hope despite that, Ann, that you are elected to the board, because you're going to be a wonderful asset. And it was really, human mistakes happen, and it's too bad that this happened.
Well, my rebuttal on that, Ann Ray, is when the mailing was delivered and you were notified, I'm not saying you as in general, were notified that that was not in there, that's when you should have gone back to the printer. They should have redone that at their own expense. This is how business is run. It's not, give me a credit, because it was not done properly. And this is what my concern is. Will this happen again? A credit means nothing to someone who takes their time, goes through all of the procedures, and thinks they have something to offer, and you're getting a credit. It's not correct. That printer should have been made to redo that over again. That's business, and I know how that works. I've been in business a long, long time. They should have had to do that over again at their own expense, or send a correction. I'm getting a little angry. I don't want to be angry. I just want to let people know that this is not right. It was not done properly, and I hope it's never done like this again. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ann, for those remarks. They're very well done. Ray, did you have any discussion with them why they would not or could not reprint them?
Nobody asked me to, no. That was never recommended by the board or proposed to the printer to remail a package to all the residents. I don't even want to go into the possibilities of troubles.
That's okay. And that is a lesson learned for all of us. I mean, it's never happened before, and it was just something that it just didn't happen. And I hope it does not affect the election, the outcome of the election. I see. Can you come up? Yeah.
Jackie McCabe, Unit 6. You said you were going to be talking to the trash people. They're going to take my life because I walk a little dog. and they like to cut through Delrose to get to the other end. And they cut through, wow, they're a lot faster